I'm always ready. Okay. So here's my the first thing I want to start with. K-pop Huntrix.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason I'm starting there is because it's a huge phenomenon, right?
Oh,
It is.
massive.
I watched it, and I want to say begrudgingly, but I've passed it a few times on Netflix, and I was like, I like animation. It said K-pop, it looked very today,
Mm.
right? Futuristic. And I kept going past it. And then my husband, Nicholas, was like, hey, I watched this. And I was like, wait a minute, what? You watched this? Because he's not like anime fan or nothing like that. So I was like, okay, this must be interesting. So he's like, let's watch it now. And I was like, oh, well, now? And he's like, yeah. So we watched it. And guess what? Loved it.
Oh.
Loved it. So, you guys are fans, right? I'm looking at all of your posts on Instagram. Who's the bigger fan?
Definitely me.
Yeah, Josh is
My-
definitely the
Okay.
bigger fan.
My sister got me into K-pop 3 or 4 years ago, and it became something of an obsession, I think. I just loved the movie. I've seen it 7, 8 times.
Oh, wow.
Twice at the
Okay,
cinema.
this is like Titanic numbers,
I know.
right? From back in the day?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what drew you into it? If you like K-pop, right? That means you've watched a few. This one is probably at the top of your list. What pulls it in for you?
I think it's everything. I think the music was really, really good. Every song was a banger. The animation was beautiful. It had a nice story as well. I'm a sucker for a embrace the ugly parts of you message. I just think it hit on all levels.
I thought so too. What about you, Ben?
I have to admit, the first time I watched it, I fell asleep.
Welcome to Fathernetics, Fatherhood Unfiltered. I'm Jamil. Welcome to the podcast.
Do it. You could never find somebody do it like me. I'ma turn it all the way up, cause it kamikaze. Go ahead and try, baby. You are gonna see that you'll never ever find somebody do it like me.
Watching it, and
Okay, Ben, we can't talk to you anymore about this.
the people that were watching it with me were absolutely mortified.
No, I was literally on the couch and I hear him snoring and I'm like, what is going on? You can't sleep through Golden. What?
First of all, you didn't have the audio up high enough.
Clearly.
Right?
Clearly,
You gotta turn
yeah.
that up high
Yeah.
enough. You gotta have the bass hitting. So it's okay. So you watched it the second time.
I did watch it a second time, and then I watched it a third time, and then I went to the cinema with Josh and watched it. I did draw the line, and I didn't
Wait,
see.
it's in the cinema?
Yeah, they did a limited release. So it was so popular. The cinema did originally just 2 showings, but then they got sold out within like 10 minutes. And so then there were a dozen showings, 2 dozen showings. Yeah.
So I must have missed that. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, and I don't know that I would have went and saw it at the cinema, but I thought it was pretty good at home. We have a nice little sound system, and Nicholas loves the music. He plays it in the car all the time. So here at home, with the subwoofer and all the tweeter speakers,
that
it
would've
was
been
it was pretty. Yeah, it was
That would have
pretty
been
good.
special.
It was pretty good. All right. So briefly, before I go further, I will allow you a 5-second, is what I say, or more. I do a plus sign at the end of that 5 seconds, for you to do a quick intro of yourself. Tell us how cool you are, so that when your kids in the future look back on this and go, yeah, those are my dads, they can be proud about it. So Josh, how about we start with you?
Sounds good. I'm a psychologist, national level humorous public speaker, K-pop fan, love chess, and really into Japanese martial arts. So just like across a whole bunch of different things.
So national level humor
Yes.
is what you said?
Yeah. So I'm a Toastmaster, public speaking organization. And last year
Okay.
I won the nationals for the humorous speaking contest.
Wow. Okay, so we can expect a lot of humor coming out of this podcast. No pressure.
No pressure. None at all.
Okay. Fair enough. And you're into Japanese martial arts.
Super into martial arts. Yes.
Okay.
I would
So for those of us that don't know, what are those? What's the top line Japanese martial art?
Aikido.
Aikido.
I was 18. I saw a poster and I thought that'd be pretty badass to be a martial artist. I went, and it's all about like non-resistance, cooperation, but also fitness, being safe, essentially.
Okay, why aren't we seeing that on your Instagram? I don't know where. I haven't seen a video of you doing Aikido.
Not yet.
I should do it. I should do it. Some good rolls or something. Yeah, that'd.
It would be very artistic, very noir filmed, artistic with some nice music in it. Well, I don't know if K-pop would be the right one. Be
Let's try it.
crossing some cultures.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Well, I say let's. I'm not going to be in it. Ben's going to be in it. Ben, tell us about yourself.
Josh has been trying to get me into Aikido, and not quite sure about that yet. But yeah, we'll see.
It's not for everybody, I guess.
No, it's not. About myself. So I work in government, and it's not really that interesting for most people. I love gardening, and I love cooking, and just getting out and about in nature and cycling. And yeah, just now that it's starting to warm up in Australia, it's just really nice to be able to get out and enjoy the lovely bushland that we've got around our house.
Okay, so gardening. Tell me about gardening, because a lot of us, I say us, it's really just me, have a brown thumb, right? So I have a very high interest in having plants around my house, but I find it difficult to understand plants that like no light, little light, no water, a little bit of water. I put it too close to the window, it dies.
Yep.
I put it too far from the window, it dies. And it's like, okay, now this is maintenance. Like I need to know this plant intimately to
Absolutely.
be successful. I don't want that. I want a low maintenance plant that I just put somewhere. So I will say, I don't know the name of the plant. I have it in my bathroom, in my shower, so it gets indirect light,
Plenty
and
of
it gets
water.
from the humidity that I create when I take a shower. I don't have to touch the thing. So now I've got two of them, right? So I'm like, yeah, I need more of these. But I also like things like what is it? The starbursts is what I want to call them, the flowers.
Yep.
Those are beautiful. They don't last long.
Mm.
I think on purpose, right? They want you to keep buying them. Okay, so tell me about Green Thumb. You have a garden, which is different than having just potted plants in the house.
Absolutely, yes. And my favorite time of the year is spring, because I spend most of my winter preparing the garden for spring, planting all of my tulip bulbs, daffodils, and just I think I've planted thousands of bulbs across the couple of years in our garden.
Yeah, for context,
Thousands.
there are flowers everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just a beautiful
okay.
thing.
It is, yeah.
And the tulips are all colors, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's almost like
So
a
you've created
paint
like a
box
little mini
full of,
rainbow.
yeah, mini rainbow in our garden, and you just walk out there and it's gay.
So I'm assuming based on that, you live somewhere where you can do that, right? You don't live in the middle of downtown where you've got like a box hanging out the window. You've got
No.
property somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. I like the approach. I love flowers. It's not for everyone. I get it. But I'm encouraged to see that gay people are planting flowers. No surprise there.
No
by the way.
surprise. No, tiptoeing through the tulips.
All right. So you guys are uncles.
We are uncles.
Yes, absolutely.
How are you guys liking that? I know it's not exactly like being a dad directly, but I mean, gunkles is as close as you can get to it.
Yeah.
With the amazing family that you already have, how are you guys loving that? How old is the little guy?
So Billy, my niece, is
Niece. Thanks for the correction.
7 years old now.
Well, how dare you decide what sex? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. So your niece.
Yeah.
How old is your niece?
7 years old. And just I can't express how much love I have for her, and I still remember the day that she was born and receiving that phone call and saying that you're now an uncle, and I hadn't even met her yet, and just this overwhelming sense of love and compassion flowing through the body. And the moment I met her and held her in my arms, it was just the most special, magical moment of my life.
So is this your biological niece, or is this on your side of the family, Josh?
So this is Ben's biological niece, and
Yeah.
she is really really lovely. She came up last
That's awesome.
yeah came up last time, and I got her into board games, card games, board games.
Oh, okay. Dungeons and Dragons
That's
is your
it's
thing. That's your jam.
next on the list to get her into Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I have like 10 questions about that, but let's not go there yet.
Yes.
So so the uncle role, how do you think you guys see that progressing? Because a lot of gunkles, right, have opportunities to showcase, hey, this is what a modern family looks like and will look like in the future. Have those conversations come up, or is it more like this is just what it is, and we exist this way?
I think
Something
it's
that's really you go, Ben.
I think it's just been natural. My sister has had frequent conversations with my niece around, like, Josh and I are together, and as she was growing up, we had a couple of books that we'd given her around same-sex parents. I think there was Tango and Me, or one about the two gay penguins that had a little chick that they were raising. So she was introduced to the concept from a very young age, and she hasn't ever questioned it. And she just looks at Josh and I as we're just Josh and Ben. So
The footprint.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is really lovely. We've also got probably the one you've seen in our videos, the little man. He's actually one of our best friend's sons. And I think we're really, really fortunate because we've got this community of about half a dozen couples where all our kids are hopefully going to grow up together. And we're just such a close group of people that it really does feel like that village raising a child's kind of mentality. And we've been just so fortunate to be let into his life. The parents are very, very accepting and trusting of us, and he's just the little sweetest man.
So as far as communities are concerned, do you have LGBTQ plus communities in your area that you guys are plugged into that are, either friends or associates or some sort of like intended parents or dads, and we're all hanging out and kicking it? Or are your friends perhaps distant because they're in a different city or different town or something, but you're obviously still friends?
We're really lucky in that we're all actually in the same town. Most of our friends are heterosexual couples.
That's unfortunate. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it happens. They're out there, I guess. Yeah, but no, I think it's just like-minded people that we've been able to connect to and grow together. And this is a group that's been together for probably 5-10 years.
So Ben, have you ever thought about that? I know in most conversations we have with some of our intended parents and some of the newer parents that are going through either surrogacy or adoption, they have an intentional thought to try to build that community around them so that their kids are growing up and can see other families that look like their families. Have you guys thought about that a little bit?
I don't think we've necessarily thought about that in particular. I think that the city that we live in is a very gay-friendly city, and when we went through
What's the closest biggest city to you so we can have some understanding of where you are?
So the biggest city, apart from where we are, is Sydney. So Sydney is 3 hours a drive from us. So Sydney's obviously one of the gay capitals of Australia, with the Mardi Gras and things like that each year. But the city that we live in actually had the highest yes vote for marriage equality when we did the vote here in Australia a number of years ago. So we haven't really felt a need to look at any particular community development. Our friendship group are all very very open and honest and accepting of everyone. And I think as a friendship group, we've also spoken about how do we create our our weeks to be able to support our community of children. So looking at one set of couple taking a day off during the week, and all of the kids going around to that person's place so that we can look after each other's children and continue to work and not have to pay childcare and things like that.
That wouldn't that be an amazing concept?
Isn't
Like
it?
we all work 4 days a week, and that fifth day we all take turns watching each other's
Yep.
kids, and you never have to worry about daycare. Because
Yeah.
I don't know about daycare where you are, but it is almost
Oh,
prohibitive
it's
here
expensive.
if you're not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think they take advantage of that. I get it. You need to make money, and kids, you want to give away your entire castle to make sure your kids are cared for. But oh my God,
Yeah.
like
You almost need
everything, like
Yeah, it's almost like you've got two people working, and yet one income is going towards paying for the childcare.
Yep. I went through I adopted my son who's now 12, but when we first got him at 4 and 5, we went through foster to adopt, so the state
Yep.
was paying for his it's not really like babysitting or anything, but he was going to pre-K is what I will call it, pre-kindergarten. But we wanted to switch him to like a Montessori school because we were
Yeah.
parents now,
Yep.
and we're gay parents. We're gonna go with premium stuff, right? Even with the state subsidy, we're like, no, I don't think so. We're gonna have to. He stays exactly where he's at, and he's done fine, right? So I think there's value to having kids in public schools and being able to connect on a different level. And again, there's nothing wrong with like Montessori and private schools. It just depends on what you're trying to get out of that and how much you can afford, really, when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
something to look forward to, guys. Start saving your pennies
Yes.
for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it may have you have a couple years to go, so you're okay
yeah.
before whenever you do have your kid, before they turn 5 at least, before you need to do that. All right, so let's go back to Dungeons and Dragons. I've had a lot of people talk about this, but it's always like a really high level, like in passing. I played Dungeons and Dragons, or you see it on Instagram, and it looks fun. I'm not into it, maybe because I haven't been exposed to it in the right way, but all I know is like cards and maybe dice, and there's a lot of imagination, which is fantastic. But what has pulled you guys into that? Like, what's the appeal?
What are your favorite kind of movies?
I love sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Anything with stars in it, I'm down.
Exactly. Imagine being able to be in a sci-fi film as the main character, and that the story is rolling out in front of you, and that you get to be in the world, making decisions that are influencing the world and the galaxy. That's how I see Dungeons and Dragons. It's this ability to be the hero of the story, and that's what I think really draws people and keeps people in the game.
So what's the setup, right? So if I'm thinking like you are, is how do you keep the story from repeating or from being similar or the same?
It's a really good question. I always start with a world, and I let my players. So imagine high fantasy. We're currently doing a piracy campaign. So they're on a pirate ship going from continent to continent, trying to find a treasure. And you just let the players explore and start to interact with different nations. And in the back of your head, as the DM who's running the session, you're thinking, okay, what's this nation doing? How would they respond? Where does the story go next? How do I make this world more complex? That's the approach. And when you've got really good players who are really willing to participate and really immerse themselves in the story just unfolds in its own way.
Oh, so how long have you guys been Dungeons and Dragoning? Is that the right word to say it? How do you say that?
So I've been involved on and off for a few years. We did a campaign a couple of years ago, which was a Harry Potter inspired campaign. Which was actually really cool. We started off.
Wait, how long do these campaigns last?
I think Josh has,
I saw your face.
Josh has been doing a campaign for the last 10 years or something.
Stop it, Josh. How do you wait? How do you do that? Like, it's a board game. Like,
It's,
do you have like one set over here, and then this is the set no one touches?
no, it's just it's more. I've got really good players. That's one thing. They're really active in just participating in the story. But it's not so much a board game. It's like you're sitting around a table and you're narrating the story, and so the story can always continue if there's more story to tell, and there always ends up being more story to tell.
Wow, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoever came up with that was like long game.
genius.
This is
They knew what they were doing.
wow. Okay. I may look into it. If I do, I know where to find you guys on Instagram
You do.
for help and support. Yeah.
Send us a message.
So I'll send some pictures. Like, what am I doing wrong? No, I got it. I got it. All right. So you guys have been married for, is it 3 years now?
Mm.
Yes. Yeah.
3 years
Yep.
plus?
Yep.
3
3.5
years.
Wow,
now.
okay.
Yep.
Tell me about how you met. How does that story unfold for you guys?
So Josh mentioned earlier that he was a Toastmaster, so public speaker. That's actually where we met. And
Okay.
so we met at a public speaking club. To be truthful, we did actually meet at a gay tennis club
I don't
a
remember this.
couple years before that. Josh doesn't remember it. So I obviously left a huge impact on him.
Listen, I'm not trying to start anything.
All right, we've worked through it.
Yeah. But in our Toastmasters club, I was the president of the club at the time, and Josh was my vice president of membership.
If you're going to aim high, go for the president. That's what I say.
I'm saying, like, I mean, let's do it. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, that's a better meeting option than some of the other opportunities that are out there. Perhaps a little bit more wholesome. Probably why this is going to last forever and ever. So, congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember I'd had a series of really not great relationships where I just wasn't feeling like I'd met people I clicked with or really decent people. And I remember looking at Ben one day and just thinking, he's just such a genuinely nice person. Like, what would it be like to date someone who is just genuinely nice? And it's pretty good.
Oh, so you were going for the bad boys, and then you were like, I need to switch it up
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
someone who is looking for the long game, and that was Ben. Just turn to your right,
Exactly.
and there's Ben.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
exactly.
That was perfect. I love it. I love it. I love love stories and how people come together. These are all, what I try to do on the podcast. If you guys have listened to an episode, is try to understand how people were before they decided to get on their journey about parenting, and then see what the afters are, right? So there's probably a part 2 in the mix somewhere for you guys to try to understand how you've changed from who you are today to 5 years from now when you're chasing, a 2'5" individual around the house, which should be quite the change. But so who raised their hand and said, hey, parenting, that's for me. Either we need to start now, or just giving you a heads up, in 3 years, this is the road we need to be on.
So it was interesting. On our first date, we both allocated an hour to have a conversation over a cup of hot chocolate. And 3 hours later, we were still sitting there talking. And I think we canvassed pretty much every single conversation that you could possibly canvass in a first date. And parenting was one of those conversations.
There you go.
So it was,
very adult of you to do that.
Yeah, it was very early on that we started working through that we both wanted to be parents, and it was a lifelong dream for both of us. And it was even down to some of the names that we were considering for our children were identical. So it was just a really lovely moment.
Yeah. And look,
Wait, so do we already have names picked out?
We've got some possible names. Yep.
you do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but
What were you going to say, Josh?
I was going to say that we had these conversations very early on. I think it's the psychologist in me. I have a tendency to want to get to know people, grill people, work them out, and I think we were just, for better or for worse, pretty transparent and upfront with each other. And
Well, I'm assuming for you, like no topic is off limits because you've heard it all at this point,
exactly right. Exactly right.
right? So there's like, you're not going to shock me, Ben. Let's
Yeah.
just get into
That's
it.
right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's got to be some benefits to that. I'm sure there are some opportunities there too for, don't shrink me is probably what pops into my head, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm very mindful to turn that part off when I come home. It's like, keep that at work.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, okay. So how'd you start your journey? What are some of the gotchas that if you were in front of an audience now, would you share with them? And then where are we today? So who wants to start?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. It's been a big journey. Like, I think the thing that I am surprised by is just how much things have evolved. So we always wanted to have kids, and there were really 3 options for us: fostering, adoption, surrogacy. That was kind of
Mhm.
the options we looked at. We did initially go down the adoption route, and it was pretty clear to us that adoptions don't happen much in Australia, and that
Why is that?
just because there's just not in our territory, there's 1 adoption a year that happens.
Yeah.
So it's just
Is that due to the legalities not being up to date, or is it more frowned upon for LGBTQ couples? Or I mean, I don't know much about it.
I think there's
obviously in Australia, which is why I'm talking to you
Yeah.
guys. But
I think that there's a couple of things. So the laws surrounding adoption are state and territory based. So each state and territory make their own laws relating to adoption. And to be able to adopt an Australian baby or an Australian child, you need to live in that state or territory to be able to adopt. So the territory that we live in has about 400 or 600,000 people. So we're quite a small state. If we're looking at international adoption, then there needs to be an agreement between Australia and that country to allow international adoptions. And for same-sex
Okay.
couples, the options are very limited, and the likelihood of us being able to proceed with an adoption from an international country was next to zero.
okay,
And so that really left us with fostering or surrogacy as an option. And I think we were sort of on the fence. My work as a psych has been pretty tough, and I've seen some of the challenges that people have been through in fostering. And so initially I think that made me hesitant to look at that as an avenue. And we went down the surrogacy route. But actually, having listened to your podcast and actually having done some more trainings recently, it's a conversation that we've really changed our perspective on in terms of fostering as something we're looking into.
Yeah, I've always
Yep.
been
You know,
open to fostering, and I think
it takes a big heart.
yeah,
It takes such a big heart to foster. I think all of these take big hearts, but fostering is one where it's such a dotted line at the end of that. You just never know.
That's right.
As opposed to surrogacy, you may have a long wait for surrogacy, but once you have the kid, it's yours. And almost the same for adoption. Once you have the kid, after whatever timeline is tied to that is yours. But with fostering it, depending on what's happening. Nonetheless, I was just looking it up because I had this thought in my head. And 5% of Australia is actually populated by humans. So I can see why that would be a challenge for adoption. You just don't have people signing up for adoption as often as you would think. So there is no one available for adoption.
Yeah, I think if we look at population wise, the US has got a significantly more or higher population.
Yeah, overcrowded. Please move over here, guys. You'll have a kid. No, I won't say that. That's not true. Don't take that from me.
The invitation is there to come to Australia.
I do have a friend, a longtime friend that lives out there in Australia, and I keep saying I'm gonna come visit. But every time I look at the flights, it's like it's almost $2,000 to get out there from the U.S. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe we meet in the middle. I don't know,
Yeah.
but we'll see. We'll
Go
see.
for it.
Okay, so you guys are going down the surrogacy route,
We are.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the laws like that make it, not that I'm asking you to quote the laws, but are the laws a little bit more conducive to go down that path?
I would say yes. Yeah.
As,
Um,
lo- as as long as it's altruistic. So it can't be commercial, which a lot of the US surrogacy agencies are. It's more of a commercial arrangement. But for example, Canada, where it is an altruistic framework, that's permissible under our laws.
So again, with the knowing that percentage of population, right, for the continent of Australia being 5%, and Australia is quite giant,
yeah.
right? And then 5%, I mean, that's not a lot of people in the grand scheme of things. How does surrogacy work? Are you guys looking outside of Australia, like Colombia? I always say Colombia because a lot of people have gone to Colombia and keep saying they've had a fantastic time just visiting the country. So, where are you guys open to or focused on?
So we're currently progressing our journey through Canada. Um, I've got a couple of people that I know that have gone through the Canadian surrogacy journey, and they had a really positive experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did initially start looking at going through surrogacy in Australia, but at that particular point in time, the laws were quite restrictive. We couldn't advertise that we wanted a surrogate. We couldn't advertise that we were looking for a surrogate. A surrogate couldn't advertise that they were wanting to be a surrogate. So when we started
Well,
our
that's
journey,
ridiculous. Like,
that's
how
right.
do you connect?
Very, very difficult. It's really just like word of mouth with friends, family, colleagues. So it was quite prohibitive. So that's why we started to look elsewhere. And at that time, Canada seemed to be the best option for us. There are agencies there that are set up to support matchmaking, I guess, between intended parents and surrogates. And legislatively, it fit as well because Canada's got an altruistic model similar to Australia.
So what does that look like for trying to make a connection? Because a lot of this has to be virtual.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming some of this may need to be in person. So are you guys like making a trip? Have you guys been out to Canada a few times, or has it not been to that point yet?
We've most of it you can do virtually in terms of building a connection with the agencies and progressing things with agencies and even building relationships with potential surrogates. I've been to Canada once to do the biological bit, essentially. And so that was our one time that we've been over there.
How long is that flight for you guys?
Oh,
Or I say for you?
16 hours with a break in the middle at LAX, which is the world's most fun airport to try and navigate.
I've done LAX for years, so it's like the back of my hand.
know it well.
I know it well because I used to work right next to it. So I would always take a bus from the valley to LAX and then take one of the shuttles from LAX to my job. So I'm very familiar with it. But yes, if you don't know how to get from A to B, don't be in a rush is what I would say, because you're not going to make it unless you know the shortcuts and where you're going and have time to get lost, because it's not, you can't just walk from A to B. It's, you've got to like get out and get on a bus or like cross streets, and it's LAX. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So have you guys have made a or a few connections that didn't quite make it all the way through? How do you deal with that journey from an emotional perspective? And the reason I'm asking that question is a lot of people go through this, right? And they're like, okay, I can't do this again, or I need some kind of motivation. Like, how did you do it? A lot of people find ways through it because that desire to be parents is great enough to be able to say, okay, I'm gonna take a break and then I'm back in. So what did you guys do?
I think it has been tough. I'm not going to lie, there have been a lot of tears, even frustration, anger. Um,
How many coffee cups did you break?
Look, smash rooms are a great thing, and even axe throwing rooms are
Oh, do you
brilliant.
guys have those?
We do, yes.
Smash rooms?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you guys been? Have you been?
And the axe throwing as well. Brilliant way to
I
relieve
haven't done the axe
stress.
throwing. Sorry, I did a whole segue. Sorry, go back to we're trying.
I think for me, it was all about being open and honest with each other in how we were feeling about the journey, checking in with each other on a regular basis, but also sharing our experiences with our friends and family so they could understand what we were going through. Um, I think one of the hardest parts were the consistent or the constant questions from friends and family. Oh, where are we up to in the surrogacy journey? So getting on the front foot and actually telling people where we're at and asking people for a bit of time for us to process, especially when our initial match with a surrogate fell through. Asking for that time to process was, I think, beneficial.
I think too, it's been a lot of being honest with ourselves. We built a really good connection with a surrogate over the course of about a year, and for health reasons, unfortunately, that fell through, and it left us in the lurch for probably a year and a half before we could rematch. And I think a lot of that process, you almost have to go through this cycle of like, what can I control? What can I do? How do I accept where we're at? What can I do now? How can I accept where we're at? It was kind of like you push forward and you do what you can with the agency, and then you wait. And then the next thing happens, and then you wait. And then you start Instagram, and it means you can do something, but you're still waiting. So you've kind of just got to straddle this line of like, I'll do what I can and try and be okay with the fact that I don't have control in this situation. It's going to happen when it happens.
It's the serenity prayer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Control the things that you can and try to forget about the other stuff. So I think, Ben, you said it. I think you made a great point when you said it's the constant ask or questions or follow up requests from friends. I don't think I would have thought about that because you do want to share your story with family and friends, right? And I think they don't know how long it could take.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're thinking, why don't you have a kid yet? And it's like, what's happening? And so I think from maybe a love perspective, it's such a great opportunity to say, hey, if you're thinking about going down this path, at what point do you share? How much do you share? Do you have an education session, right? Do you pull up an easel at home and go, hey guys, let's walk through this together because please don't ask me again, right? Or that's my mechanical mind thinking about that. But have you guys done that at this point, or is it just kind of like, just feel free to ask. We'll tuck that deep down inside and just provide you the answer that's necessary.
I think for me, I've spoken to particularly a family about what the process looks like and answered all of their questions. And a lot of the responses that come back is, wow, I didn't realize how much was involved in this process. I didn't realize how many meetings you need to attend, how many medications the surrogate might need to take, how many potential bills that you might need to pay as well. And I think being able to get people across what that process looks like will set them up to be able to support you through that journey as well. But also being open with them about how you're feeling. They're not going to be able to completely understand the process that you're going through or the journey that you're going through or how you're actually feeling. But I think even though they don't understand, you need to be able to let them know, let them in, let them share in that journey as well.
Yeah, because they started it with you, right?
Yeah.
And they they quite wholeheartedly believe they're on the journey with you, and to a certain degree they are.
Yep.
But they, the mechanics of getting good or bad news is not something they're fully submerged in. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So that's definitely a perspective I want to make sure people get on here. We did have, I say we, it's only me, right, during the podcast. Um, I did invite Oak Surrogacy that resides in Canada to be on our show, and it's a young lady who's been a surrogate many a times, because I want to get her perspective on surrogacy. Right, we have these conversations with intended parents about the journey that they're on, but there's also a flip side to that. There's the surrogate that goes through quite the journey as well.
Yep.
And they go through the physical components of it, the drugs that you mentioned for whatever reasons. And sometimes they go through a great loss as well, especially if it's nothing to do with a decision that they've made. Sometimes it's just biology. And unfortunately that's part of the equation.
That's right. And I think also there's still such a stigma around surrogacy as well. And I think one of the things that I've seen with potential surrogates is one of the hurdles is trying to overcome that stigma. And the question that gets asked of them is, well, why would you put yourself in a situation to be able to, or to fall pregnant when you're not going to be the one that's actually raising that child? And I think there's still so much education that's needed across society to be able to bring people together and go, childbirth.
Oh, did we lose Ben?
Oh.
It was so important
I'm
what you
back.
said,
Yeah.
Ben.
I'm back, I think.
He's like, I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yep, I'm done. I'm done. That's my bit. No, it was I think the conversation needs to be had across society that falling pregnant and being able to create a family isn't as easy as what they lead on in school. And there are so many different ways now of actually starting a family that we need to be able to normalize the conversation around surrogacy.
So Ben, it sounds like you're raising your hand to say I'm going to lead that educational path for the world. So I appreciate you doing that. Let us know when that goes live.
I can see a book deal in your future, Ben.
A book deal?
Oh, look at that. Sign up. Do it. I'll support you. I'll bring you back on the show as an author. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be
That would be cool.
fantastic.
All right, so tell me, guys, what do you guys do while all of this is pending in the background? Do you guys go on vacations and
Yeah.
kind of get out there and have fun?
My physio gave me the best advice. He's got a 1-year-old, and he was like, look, it sucks that it's not happening on the timeline that you'd like, but when you're a parent, you're not going to be able to do. There's so much you're going to have to sacrifice. So just focus on making the most of now. Now is your time. You've got this time while you wait. Make the most of it. And I think that's what we've tried to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's easier said than done. I don't think anyone, you hear it all the time, right? You're not going to have much time, but it's a different experience because you don't have time you have time. You don't have time for yourself.
Exactly.
Which is a completely different concept. That now you have to pour all of this into someone that it doesn't really even fit into, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where have you guys gone that's like the best time ever? Where have you guys traveled in the past 3+ years together?
Oh, we've done a couple of trips to South Korea, and we
Of
also
course. I mean,
K-pop.
Yeah.
yes.
Band.
like-
K-pop. Yeah. And whilst we're over in that part of the world, we also did Japan.
That was awesome.
Absolutely stunning country.
Okay, which
to
one's
visit.
better?
South Korea.
South Korea.
No, I've heard a lot about South Korea and it being phenomenal. Is it because it's more? I always think from an American perspective. Is it more Americanized? Is the word is what I wanted to say? Is it more?
Yeah.
I don't know how to frame it.
Yeah, it is a little bit. There's something really enchanting about it. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just, like, everyone's well dressed, it's well put together. It's just got this sort of really enchanting. Seoul, in particular, has this really enchanting vibe to it that's just like fun and safe and vibrant, and the food is just phenomenal.
Ooh, food.
Yeah,
Fried
Ben,
chicken,
you
yeah.
cook.
yeah, Ben does cook well.
Okay.
We actually attended a cooking class in South Korea, so now we've got a few recipes in the rotation.
Okay, what do you cook? What's your favorite dish? And then we'll get back to traveling because I'd like to know more about Japan as well, and if you guys had a good time at the DMZ in South Korea. But what do you cook that's awesome?
So I think since being to South Korea, my favorite thing to cook is a Korean dish called dakgalbi, which is a chicken.
Okay, how do you spell that so I can look it
So
up?
it's DAKGALBI,
Okay,
and
I'm
it's
gonna
a
look it up while you're talking.
chicken and cabbage dish that's cooked with a Korean hot sauce and kind of cooked right down, and then some Korean rice cakes in it as well, and
Ooh, look at
served with cheese. And
This is
it's
a visual
absolutely
podcast, by the
beautiful.
way, so I'll put up a picture of this as we're talking, but it looks amazing. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Um, so we cook that on quite a regular basis now, and we've even got to the point where we're sharing that recipe with friends, and they're now cooking it. So it's almost like this.
Wait, you're saying we is Josh cooking it? Oh, okay.
No. I say we because I like to refer to us as the royal we, but no, it's me.
I attempt recipe. My thing now has become, I put into ChatGPT, I say, I want you to give me a recipe that's 5 ingredients or less and takes me 20 minutes or less to
Oh, that's not cooking. Come on. Like water is one ingredient. That's already down to 4 now.
Whereas I will go into the kitchen and I'll have 3 different recipes that I'm creating at any one time, and there's
Okay, but Ben, you also don't count. You guys are like at the far end of the spectrum. Yeah, I don't no one does that, Ben, except for you. And I appreciate that because I have a friend that loves to cook as well. And I can appreciate that
Yeah.
because it's always like good food. It's like I wish I
Yes.
could do this. So
Yeah,
my hat's off. Sorry, Josh, what were you gonna say?
No, just like the best perk of being married to Ben is the food. Just really good.
Oh, well, okay.
No, that's not true. There are many things that are higher than the food, but the food's one. It's up there. It's an amazing cook.
Good correction. Thank you for
Just exposing myself.
Okay, so back to South Korea. Apart from the food, when I think of South Korea, obviously I have no concept because I haven't been there, but there's a lot of YouTube videos that I watch, and you said well-dressed people. I think of all the people like with all like the fashion forward wear that you see in the street,
Yes.
and there it's like, okay, where are you guys going looking like that? But I'm thinking they're dressing like that for the YouTube video, but it sounds like that's not the case. That's just normal.
That's normal.
Yep.
I think the South Korean culture is quite competitive, and so everyone is brought up to always look like you're on show and always act like you're on show. And like there is such a vibrant nightlife as well, and it's almost an expectation that when you finish work, you will go out and you will socialize with friends, and you'll eat dinner, you'll drink your soju, and I think because of that environment, it's so enticing and so electrifying when you're there. It's so completely different to what we're used to.
So is it Korean or Japanese where you go to those restaurants and it's just like a wall with a hole in it and you're supposed to get your meal prepared by someone that you can't see and they just hand it to you?
I don't know.
Oh, I've not seen that
Oh,
one.
I've blown both of your minds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
That sounds so
I don't
different.
know which culture it is. But we saw one. There was a I guess a themed restaurant when we were in Southern California, and it's you order your food and it's just a giant wall and it's got like circular holes
Ah.
and they call your number and they just hand you the bowl. You don't know who cooked it, what the kitchen looks like, nothing. It's like that is interesting. Like
The-
That's wild.
The glory hole of food.
This guy.
I'm like,
You gotta watch out for this guy.
The quiet ones. You've always got to watch the quiet ones.
I know he's a sleeper on us. You know too much. You know too much. Okay, so Japan. Where'd you go in Japan? How was that? How's that a little bit different?
So we were up in Osaka to start with,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what I really loved the onsen experience in Osaka. We stayed at a traditional accommodation, and we
Okay, so what does that mean? You were very careful with that word. What does traditional accommodations mean? No
well,
glory holes, hopefully, but go
no,
ahead.
no. I would say it's hard to explain traditional
Is this like
Japanese.
bamboo beds? Is this the
So we did draw the
YouTube?
line at a futon. So futon is
Okay.
generally what they would have as traditional bedding, but we opted
Sleep pods? You guys sleep
for the
pods?
king bed. So I haven't yet tried a sleep pod, but they actually look really cool. I would love one.
You know what? I've seen the YouTube videos, and again, it's the YouTube effect, right? Everything looks cool in YouTube because someone's showing you, and they're like, "Look, it's cool." But then, yeah, I don't know if that's for me.
Yeah. Are they really small? Because if it's what I'm thinking of, it seems claustrophobic.
So the sleep pods is
pod.
really it fits maybe two people depending on where you're going.
Okay.
By design, it's supposed to be one person, but it's like you walk into the sleeping area and it's probably like 18 pods.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's designed to do just that. You are going to sleep.
Yeah.
And then once you're up, you're out doing whatever you're supposed to do. So by that design, it makes sense. But I'm also I like doors. I like my own space.
Yes.
You know, I don't but that's me. That's a cultural thing, I guess. So I'm not trying to poop on that if that's for people, but it's not for me. Okay,
Yeah,
so traditional.
I think I'd like to try it. I don't think Josh would like that.
No.
He wouldn't have his
don't think
TV
so.
or be able to access Drag Race.
No, they
and
have
like
so they
that.
have TVs. It's
Oh,
about
they-
this small, so they have TVs and it's like the lights and stuff. But that's it. You don't have like a sitting area. You don't have a kitchen. You don't have like a view. It's a draw curtain at the end, from what I've seen, to kind of yeah. So if there's noises, if there are people snoring, and that you're gonna hear that because you're literally sharing the same room.
Yeah. No.
I just spoiled
Yeah.
it for Josh. He's like, no thanks,
Yeah,
I'm out.
he's out. He's
I'm
out.
I'm a light sleeper. Absolutely not.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right. So nightlife. What would you guys do? Did you guys go clubbing?
We went out to.
So we didn't
went,
go
yeah.
clubbing. We actually went and we experienced a Japanese baseball game, and
Oh, baseball is big time.
baseball is big in Japan. Yeah, and
you wouldn't have thought so, right? But I mean, it is
No.
giant out there.
yeah, and we'd never been to a baseball game before. Baseball's not as big in Australia.
And we've never been to a baseball game since.
I mean, you checked it off the list. You've done what
We-
you're supposed to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see the appeal. It was very slow. It was just a lot slower than I expected.
Well, what's your normal speed? I mean, what's the sport you tend to gravitate towards, if any?
Well, and Ben really hates this sport, so it's definitely a me thing. But cricket is sort of similar, I suppose, to baseball in one sense. It's
Ben's like, no,
no,
it's upside down baseball.
yes, and it's fast. Balls rolling, and it's going quite quickly. Yeah, but not for Ben.
Cricket is big in I guess mid Asia, is if we like India.
Yes,
Cricket is big there.
Yeah.
very much.
huge.
I'm from Panama, so they play cricket there as well. Obviously, it's not as big as soccer
Yeah.
in Latin American countries, but I never played cricket. Now, if you can find cricket in the United States, yeah,
I'd be surprised.
You're doing well.
you found some gold somewhere. So yeah, I mean, I don't care for baseball. I do think it's fun to watch. It's 7 innings in the United States. I don't know if it's the same in Japan, but
Yeah.
after like 5 innings, I'm done. Like
Yeah.
we've seen it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
Probably the same.
Yeah. I mean, It's a huge thing out here. I mean, we build giant stadiums to them,
Mm.
and they make
Yeah.
good money. I'm
Yes.
assuming. So
Imagine
we'll
so.
go with that.
Mm.
All right. So, apart from those locations, do you guys have other places you've been? I like to ask where people have gone because it's cool places that I want to go to.
So my other favorite place is Vegas.
What?
I love Vegas. I've been there 5 times now.
Wow.
Yeah, I just can't get enough of it.
You've come from Australia to go to Vegas, or were you? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yep. Come from Australia just to go to Vegas, and so there was one time I went to Vegas. Cher was doing a show there, and it was supposed to be one of her last shows ever. And I'm like,
Oh,
I've got
Ben,
to
you
get
are a
tickets.
proper gay. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So I got up at like 3 o'clock one Saturday morning to buy tickets to see Cher. I got my tickets to this concert at the MGM in Vegas. And now I'm like, okay, I've got to book a holiday around this. How sad's this? So
I love it. Perfect.
got over there, got to see Cher, and it was absolutely amazing. But then there was another time I was there, and it was almost a gay trifecta. So we saw Cher, Shania Twain, Britney
Shania
Spears, and J-Lo
Ooh.
all in 1 week.
Now, okay, magic words, Britney Spears. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. My husband, who is a Britney fan,
Mm.
probably fan number 2, just because fan number 1 probably spends more than they should. So he's fan number 2. He's seen her in concert so many times, and most of them have been in Vegas. And we've been to Vegas like 1 billion times at this point. It's such a fun
It's really
place,
fun.
especially if you have a reason to be there.
Yeah.
It's fun. If you're just going out of the blue, it's still fun. If you're taking your kids, then it's a whole different shift, but it's still fun. So
Yeah.
I encourage people
Yeah.
to go. I sound like I work for the Vegas Convention Center, but you should definitely go. Josh, have you been to Vegas?
Yeah, that's where our honeymoon was to.
Oh, you were together.
Yes, we were. We did our honeymoon in Vegas and Hawaii. Yeah, Vegas was great. Good fun. Just
Vegas and Hawaii.
yeah.
Now I'm thinking, like, which one's better?
It just depends.
Vegas,
I've never been
definitely.
to Hawaii.
Yeah. Vegas was like the fun, the shows, the staying up late, and then Hawaii was just super chill,
Yeah.
easy going.
Mai Tais.
Mm-hmm.
That
Good.
Well, listen, I think you guys are doing some phenomenal work just being individuals. This is a lot of prep work for when you actually become dads, because then you can say, hey, look at all the pedigree that we have, all the experiences that we have. It sounds like you guys are putting all the ducks in a row. I'm so excited for intentional dads, because just look at the amount of LGBTQ parents we have today versus 5 years ago versus 10 years ago. The opportunities, the legal standings, the desire to want to do that has changed. And this podcast, hopefully with individuals like yourself, are helping others to feel more comfortable going down that path, doing the right level setting, which I think is important. Right? How do I talk to parents? How do I talk to my family? How do I talk to my husband? How do we stay close? You know, what does communication look like? You're going to be parents, so communication is going to be key. When we start talking about what kind of ideals we have, what kind of morals we need to now merge and pour into one individual, you know, who's going to be the stay-at-home dad, if that's a thing, right? Who's going to be the stern dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to be the cool dad? Right now, my husband asked my kid just yesterday, he's like, who's the fun dad? And my kid was like, I'm not going to answer that.
Oh, so do you reckon he had an answer?
He did not answer.
He did not answer.
No. So I was like, smart kid. You're like picking up. He's 12 now. So he's like, no.
I'm not
One
getting
day
drawn
I'm-
into this.
Yeah, no, one day I'm going to need this button. I can't do that. So we're teaching him something. He's picking it up, and I appreciate that. All right, guys. So we're right at 60 minutes. Look at that. I am very good at what I do these days, or I like to pretend again. So I appreciate your time. This was fantastic. If we get an opportunity, you know, anytime within the next 6 months, a year, or hopefully sooner, right? Where we get to reconnect, and maybe after you get the kid, not while you're going through that journey, because that can be time consuming and all that other jazz. We want to catch you at your best, right? Or maybe we should catch you at your worst,
Yeah.
like when you have the baby
Yeah.
and you're running around trying to figure out what to do, chicken with your head cut off.
That's right.
That
Yes.
can be fun too.
That good entertainment value. I can see it.
And comedy relief. I love it. All right, guys, I appreciate this.
Thank you so much for having us.
Right.